Oh, with some music going over it? Yeah.
And it'd be like, wah, wah, wah.
Hi, welcome to today's episode of DTF Garage. My name is Hemi. You might know me from POSC. Today we're going to show you how to install a Corbeau Racing seat in our Project 1988 Foxbody Mustang. This is actually my personal car. This is just a project I've been working on for the last few months. It's a 1988 LX hatchback. It's a 5.0 with a 5-speed. It's black over red interior. I actually purchased this from the original owner from a dealership I used to work at. So it's in great clean shape. It just has a few odds and ends that need attention. Basically, I've just been modifying it to just have fun on the street and on the track with it. So I've been doing small things like some exhaust and some wheels and tires, and most recently a pair of racing seats. So today we're going to show you how to install those along with a set of Corbeau seat tracks. It's a relatively easy install. These are Corbeau fixed back black racing seats. They're very, very well bolstered. They're designed to keep you in very well. Okay, so the first step to putting in your new seats is taking out your old seats. Now, most Foxbody Mustangs, 79 and 93, had 4 bolts holding them down on the seat track. The only tool you'll need to take those out is a 15mm socket or wrench. And there are 2 bolts in the front and 2 bolts in the back. Now, the first thing you want to do is remove the plastic covers covering the bolts. So we're going to do that now. Now, these come out, and then you can access the bolts. When you take the bolts out of your seat, you want to do the front 2 bolts first. When you do the front 2 bolts, after you remove the plastic cover, slide the front seat all the way back to give you more room to reach the bolts with your wrench. You really only need to loosen them a little bit, and then you can just get them out the rest of the way by hand. One of the issues that you may run into when removing the seat bolts out of your Mustang is that this nut has seized to the bolt, or that the nut has seized to the stud, and it'll come out looking like that. Now, when that happens, do your best to get the nut off of the stud. If you need to put that in a vise and then work the nut off, then that's fine, because you're going to need to reinstall it. But either way, you can just reinstall these back with your new seats. Once you've removed the nuts or studs from the front seat brackets, slide the seat all the way forward to get better access to the ones in the back. And once you've done that, you're going to have 2 in the rear, just like in the front. They're just going to be at the bottom of the tracks right here, bolted into the floor. And once again, go ahead and remove them with your 15mm socket. Once you move to the rear, you're actually going to have a little more room on these bolts than you do with the front. So what I do is put an extension on my ratchet. It'll help you get the bolts out easier in the rear. Because from here, you can access them just like that. Another tip is to loosen your bolts equally. That way one won't be more difficult than the other. Oh my God. I'll take number 3. This takes forever. Who's going to ask about my Cobra floor mats? These ones? One of the differences that you'll notice when you get to the bolts in the rear of the seat is that they are actual bolts like that, instead of studs with a nut on them. Alright, once you have all your bolts out, go ahead and remove your seat.
Like a glove.
The next tool you'll need for your seat installation is an H6 bit and another ratchet. Now there's going to be 4 bolts. There's going to be 4 H6 bolts on the bottom of your seat. They're already screwed in, so you want to remove them so you can use them to put through the seat track. So we're going to remove those now. Now since it's a cushioned seat with no metal parts, we just have it upside down on the back of the car.
We are professionals, and we have the right tools to do the job.
Just not the right workbench. So once your H6 comes out, it's going to look like that. And just remove all 4 of these, and then we'll move on to putting the seat track on.
On this episode, we'll show you how to pinch your fingers.
In order to get the front and rear bolts in successfully, install the rear bolts first and tighten them down so that the track is successfully tightened enough that you can lift the bar and slide it back to give you access to the front bolts. And once again, just like when you're removing the seat and installing the seat, the same rule applies to the seat tracks where you want to tighten the bolts evenly. So tighten a little bit over here and then move to the other side. Once you've got your rear bolts tightened, go ahead and move the bar so you can slide the track back. Just like that. Even though this is an American car, you still want to make it Guten tight. Now, Corbeau recommends 4 Ugga-Duggas. Once you've got all the bolts to your seat track in, you can go ahead and get the seat ready to position into your car. All right, now your new seat is ready to go in the car. Now, these Corbeau seats are very, very light. It's only a one-person operation to lift it up and set it into the car. Now, you're only going to set it onto the front studs. As you know, the rears are bolts that go through the floor. So, grab it by the handles, and you can honestly, all you need is just the door open and you can easily set it into the car. And then you can just line the front up like that. Cut, because I need my wrench. These tracks, if you're just using it for street use, I generally go right in the middle. Once you tighten the nuts down just a little bit before you put the rear bolts in, you can move these around ever so slightly. So, as you can see, the seat is fully forward. Try and move the seat belt out of your way here. And then the studs go through each hole right here, as you can see right here. Now, I already put them in and hand tighten them just a little bit. So what works best is just like the ones in the front, they're 15 millimeter. So if you have a 15 millimeter ratcheting wrench, I would recommend that. That's amazing. Hi again. Don't feel bad if you realize that it is not very graceful getting in or out of the car, but once you're in, it's perfect. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks again for watching DTF Garage. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, don't store it, send it. Unlike current roadkill, we actually work on the cars. Don't play that.
Oh no, I'm gonna send that straight to fucking Flipper.
No, I still want to meet those guys.